your vitamin M. This is your motivation for the week. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes. Get your vitamins A, get your vitamins A, get your vitamins A, get your, hey. Do the cabbage patch, hey, what is the cabbage patch? Get your vitamins, get your vitamins, get your vitamins, hey, get your vitamins, hey, yes, I gotta bring the hype, hey, listen, get your energy up, listen, we are in here, you are getting your vitamins, you are getting your vitamin M, your weekly recommended dose of motivation with your hype girl, that would be me, with your home girl next door, Marshall Sterling. Listen, I am here to set you on fire. I am here to light you up and to remind you about your greatness. If you remember on this week, listen, these past couple of weeks, we have talked about motivation. We've been diving into the motivation. We have talked about motivation, why. We have also talked about how to build motivation. And listen, on tonight, I want to say one thing about motivation, because I said this on the first episode of talking about motivation. I am not crazy. I have not lost my mind. It is the motivation for me. It is the motivation for me. It is the motivation for me. I don't know about you, but it is the motivation for me. It's something about the motivation that just goes all over me, that keeps me all fired up. Listen, that gets me up and it gets me moving. But I also know this one thing. Motivation will only take us so far. Motivation will only get us to a certain point. So we want to talk about, what can I put with? What can I combine together? What can I make a combo pack? What can I combine? What can I do, Marshall? How can I get to that next level and combine something? Because I've been taking my vitamin M's every single solitary week. I'm hanging in there with you. I'm going back and I'm watching the shows over and over and over and over again. And I am going to propose to you on tonight, if you will allow me to propose something on your plate to challenge your thinking and to challenge your status quo, because that's what I am here for. I am here to challenge you to get off the sideline, and to get up and to do something. What is that? The combo pack entails motivation and discipline. Motivation versus discipline. That is what we are going to dive into tonight. Listen, we cannot stand, and I will say this because I want you to hear it. I want you to hear it from me. We cannot stand on motivation alone. Or do we need something else to make the magic happen? And yes, we need something else, because once again, motivation is only going to take you so far. Where do you go when the motivation begins to run out? Where do you go when you need to hit that next level? And where you go is you combine the motivation and the discipline together. That's where it is for me. It's not just about one thing alone. There is no one end all, be all, or fix all for every single solitary thing, but it is the overall picture. It is those things that we put together that make the magic happen. Listen, if you remember that motivation is defined as the desire to act in service of a goal. The desire to act in service of a goal. And the desire is an emotion. It is something that comes from within. So I have a desire within me to act in service of something that I want to see happen. Remember that motivation is also one of the biggest driving forces behind human behavior. You cannot survive and thrive without the motivation. Remember that motivation is movement, movement, movement. It is getting up and doing something. It is getting up and chasing your hopes and your dreams to make the magic happen. For lack of motivation, the people will perish. Where there is no motivation, where there is no motivation, where there is no motivation, where the motivation has got up and left the building, you will perish. You need your motivation to get you to get up. It's that spark of energy. It's that light. It's that fight. It's the ignition that turns it and goes. You need that. Listen, you are not just standing around, but you need to get into action, and you get into action with your motivation. That's what I'm talking about. It is, listen, you don't need a whole lot of motivation, because just a little bit of motivation, just a small pea size, just a little bitty bit of motivation goes a long way. The motivation will go all over your plate. It's the way I think about my motivation, like I think about my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Now, everybody is not going to agree how to make your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But I'm going to tell you how I like mine, and then I can tell you about how other people in my house like theirs. See, I'm the kind of girl that I don't need a lot of either. I don't want a lot of peanut butter or jelly to overpower the sandwich. It's the evenness of it. So I just want an even spread of peanut butter, and I want an even spread of jelly, and I just need enough to go over the bread. I don't need, because some people in my house like a whole lot of peanut butter and jelly, and when they put it on their sandwich, it's dripping all out the sandwich. It's going all over the napkin. It's going everywhere. See, I think about my motivation like I think about my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I just need it enough to stay on the bread, to stay in place so that it's not dripping and so that it's not going everywhere, because I've covered all of the bread with the little peanut butter and jelly that I have, and that is all that I need so that I can bite it in chunks. I can bite it in chunks. I can bite it in chunks, because just a little bit of it goes a long way. What I'm telling you on tonight is, if you're taking your vitamin M, you don't need a lot of motivation to stay fired up. You just need a little bit. And when you combine motivation with discipline, you make the right kind of sandwich. I'm telling you, there is no other. Listen, it's the peanut butter and jelly sandwich that goes together, and that is motivation and discipline. They are the peanut butter and the jelly that go. It is the right kind of combination. So listen, let's go to a commercial break, and when we return, we're going to talk about what is the difference between motivation and discipline.
The Inspire You Awards are here. This is your opportunity to vote for your favorite show on the Inspire You Network. The Vitamin M Motivation with Marshall Sterling show is eligible for 2 categories: Favorite Lifestyle Show and the Viewer's Choice Award. Vote for the Vitamin M show by scanning the QR code on the screen, or go to bit.ly/InspireUCC voting. Vote as often as you like. And thank you in advance for your vote.
Peanut butter and jelly Peanut butter and jelly is where we left off, talking about that a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is relatable to motivation and discipline. It's the right kind of combination that goes together. And what I am proposing to you is that you need both of them together. I don't want a jelly sandwich by itself, and I don't want just a peanut butter sandwich. I want a peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly. I want motivation, discipline, motivation, discipline, motivation, discipline. Yes, that is what I want. I want the combo together so that I am powerful, so that I am able to reach my dreams, so that I am able to reach my hopes. Let me tell you something. Motivation will get you moving into the right direction. Motivation gets you up and tells you to get up and to do something. I'm telling you that motivation will have you walking right. Listen, motivation will have you stepping, and motivation will cause you to take one step. And when you take one, then you take two. And when you take 2 steps, it's taking 3. And when you take 3 steps, you're taking 4. And before you know it, you are off and you are running and you are going. It's just like a baby that's learning to walk. And sometimes they stand up and they begin to stand and they like, whoa, wait a minute. These are legs and they let me stand. Wait a minute, these are legs and they cause me to walk. And just think I can get over here and I can get over there. It's the same thing with your entrepreneurship. It is the same thing with your goals. When you begin to realize that you can stand on your own, that your legs will walk, that your dreams will happen, that you can make your goals, listen, you get all fired up and nobody can stop you. But listen, nobody can stop you. Your motivation should be so strong that it inspires and fires up the people that are around you. It should get everybody moving and looking at you and trying to figure out, what are you doing? What are you applying in your life so that I can apply the same thing and make the magic happen in my own life? Now, listen, motivation is the why behind our actions, but discipline is about what you do. Motivation equals the why and discipline equals the what. Motivation is your why. Why are you doing it? Motivation is that initial burst of energy. It's that spark that comes out of nowhere that gets you moving. Motivation reminds you of your why. Why did I start it? Why did I get into it? Why did I want to do it in the first place? It keeps you grounded. I'm motivated when I get into my building and I see my kids because they are my motivation. They remind me of my why. Why did I get into education in the first place? Because I wanted to share my story and impact other children who were just like me, impact other kids that struggled, impact other kids that stuttered. What did that look like? I wanted to be the teacher for them. I wanted to be the principal for them because I wanted to tell my story. And because of that motivation, it reminds me every day of why I'm doing it. My motivation explains and provides the clarity to my why. It gives me the picture. It gives me the insight because I am being reflective when I am thinking about the motivation. The motivation helps to keep me grounded. But the discipline, though, the discipline is the what I do. So once I know my why, once I know the reason, once I know where I want to go, I have to know what I'm going to do when I get there. That's what makes it so powerful. That's what makes the combination so great, because when I begin to put the two together, I'm unstoppable because I have my why and I also have my what. So I have my why I'm doing it. And then I am working on what I am going to do. What does it look like? See, discipline is good because it allows us to follow rules of behavior. It creates routines or habits are established around certain things. See, discipline helps me to create the environment that I need to thrive in to be able to do my what. See, discipline causes, when I am disciplined, it causes me to be able to have perseverance and resilience over long periods of time. Because when I'm ready to give up, when I'm ready to give out, when I'm ready to quit, when I'm ready to throw in the towel, I can go back to what do I need to do. It helps me to set the atmosphere, because sometimes setting the atmosphere means I'm saying no to certain things I'm not allowing in my environment because it's not going to benefit. It's not going to benefit me. Discipline is a good thing because it helps me to restrict my own self or set parameters, and not even restrictions, just parameters of the way that I'm going to operate, parameters around the way that I am going to interact with other people or let people interact with me. Discipline says to me, what would a winner do? What would a successful person do? What does an effective entrepreneur look like? What does a healthy person look like? What would they do? Discipline allows me to go in and say, why do I want to know this? That's the motivation. But the discipline comes in and finding the answers to what do they do that I'm not doing. So see, when I think about it, what would they do? What would they say? How would they act? What does that look like so that I can implement those things in my life so that I can get the results that they are getting? See, discipline is results driven. If you're disciplined, then you are results driven. You want to see the success. You want to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So you are setting up the environment to be able to do that. Discipline says that I am going to create my life around where I want to go, because, and I'll go back and say this, because sometimes, and not sometimes, I would say that discipline all the times means that at times you have to say no. When I was getting my master's degree, at times I had to say no to a party, no to a family function, no to going out with my friends, maybe no to watching TV because I needed time to sit and study and to turn in my homework and to do the things that I needed to do. It was discipline that I had to put around myself, although I really wanted to go. And that's the same thing when we go back and we talk about what does a winner look like? What does a winner look like? What does a successful person look like? What does an effective entrepreneur look like? And it may look different for everybody, but what does that look like? What do they have in common that I need to implement for myself so that it works out for me? And I'll tell you again, discipline is not a bad thing. It's just setting goals for where you want to go. And sometimes people are not going to understand that, and they're going to want you to do something, but you have to know for yourself that I cannot do this because I have somewhere I want to go. I have something that I want to do. If you don't add discipline to your environment, you will never get where you want to go. You have to have the discipline to be able to make the dreams come true. We're going to finish up our discussion after these messages.
Capture the moment, La Mystique Decor and more. is here to turn your fantasy into reality. If you don't want your next event to be just another boring get-together, La Mystique is here for you. We are not just another 360-degree photo booth company. We customize every detail of the photo booth experience. Our eye-catching scenescapes will not only accentuate your next event, it will make it unforgettable. Enjoy our backdrops, Air Jordan balloon shoe mosaics, centerpieces, and our unique 360-degree photo booth experience. Contact La Mystique for your next gathering to add class, style, and a personal touch for your honoree and guests. Our photo booth provides guests with a unique video keepsake, featuring a customized overlay made specifically for your event. Contact La Mystique Decor and more today so that we can turn your fantasy into reality.
Listen, we were talking about motivation and discipline, motivation versus discipline. What is the difference between the two? Excuse me, guys. You know, when you get up here, let me just take a sidebar. You get up here and you go to talking, and sometimes stuff get in your throat. So then I gotta clear my throat. My husband gonna be talking, looking at me through this camera, like, "Why you clearing your throat?" But hey, it's all a part of the show. It's all a part of what we do. Because you have to also know that I am not perfect. That I have flaws. I have flaws, people. I have flaws. I have things that I don't like about myself, and I have to motivate my own self to get up and to do things just like I tell you the same thing. So when we talk about motivation and discipline, remember we said that the motivation connects you back to your why. It grounds you in your purpose, and the discipline is what you do. You need the two together. It's the combo pack. I can get you up and moving, and I can get you all fired up because it's the same. Let me tell you what happens. You go somewhere, and I know I'm geared to this, and so all the educators out there, hey, all the educators out there, hey, we all do this. And it's not just educators. I do believe that we all do it. We all go to a training, we go to a meeting, we go somewhere, and if you are forced to be there, or you just happen to go or whatever it is, if you're not motivated to want to be there, then what do you do with the notes? Or you may take notes and get all fired up about what I say, and I can get you all hype, and I can, hey, let's go. Get up. I can do all of that. But if you don't have the discipline, if you don't have the discipline, I am up here on every Sunday night for no reason at all. You have to go and have the discipline to take notes on Sunday night. You have to have the discipline to take notes on Sunday night. You have to get up, get your notes. Come on now. Get your notes. Do something with what you learn. Don't be here at the Vitamin M motivation and treat it like your trainings, to treat it like other things that you have been to. Implement. Do something with it. Have the discipline to sit down and review your notes. Look over your notes. Look over weeks past notes. Are you implementing those right now? What are you doing with it? See, go back to when we talked about your why. What is your why? And have you implemented the what? Have you had the discipline to implement the what? See, I understand that motivation is an emotion. It is an emotion, but we are emotional beings. We are created to feel and to touch and to interact. You are not created to be alone and to be without other people. See, your motivation is what keeps you connected to others, but it provides the desire to be disciplined enough to go and to do something. The discipline ensures that you know where you are going or where you want to go. Someone once said that motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. I'm going to say that again because I loved it. Listen, motivation gets you going. Motivation gets you going. Discipline keeps you growing. So I am here to offer you the combo. I am here to motivate you, to get you going. And I'm also here to get you growing. Because I'm also here to tell you need the discipline so that you grow. That is the difference between motivation and discipline. Your motivation gets you going and your discipline keeps you to growing. You have to grow. You have to implement those things that we talk about on Sunday nights. Listen, come on now. Come on. This is the coach. Listen, your life is the practice. Your life is the football field. It's the basketball court. Listen, listen, and I'm gonna listen. We're gonna have some shirts that just have listen on it. Just listen. You have to practice. Successful people and great sportsmen or sportswomen, women included, all sports people that play sports, they don't just get out on the field or the swimming pool or the basketball court or the volleyball court. They don't go there and don't practice. They don't just show up. I don't show up on Sunday nights. I don't show up and do this without practicing. I practice, I go over it, I talk through it, I research, I do my homework so that I am able to come and provide when it is time for my game. When it is time to do and game time is not the time to practice. You have to practice ahead of time. Listen, discipline is your staying power. Motivation gets you moving, and the discipline is your staying power to keep you in it. You cannot stop. You have to keep going. Motivation versus discipline. Motivation keeps you going. Discipline keeps you growing. Let's grow together. This has been your Vitamin M.
Join us next week to get your weekly dose of Vitamin M. Book Marshall for your next event. Please visit our website at www.marshallsterling.com.